thing over here to my right, a fire extinguisher by my feet. No smoking, no vaping, no standing while the boat's moving. Front part of the boat's on the bow. No standing, no dancing up on the bow. We may change the rules on the dancing part. But now no dancing. We all looking to have a good time. We happen to see something on the right. If you guys on the right just stay seated, you guys on the left can look over that shoulder and stand if the boat's not moving. And vice versa, if it's on the left, you guys on the left can all stay seated. You guys on the right can look over that shoulder and stand if the boat's not moving. No telling what way up or how long we might see something. That usually works out pretty good for everybody to do whatever it might be. Everything on this tour is for real. Closest thing to Disney World on this tour is this boat ride. It's like the log ride, but this is for real. Some people get wet on a log ride, they like it, and sometimes that's about how it is on this boat. We just gotta do it and see how it all works out. This is the West Pearl River. It twists and turns about 470 miles up into the state of Mississippi. It's basically just in the state of Mississippi, runs a little short distance through Louisiana, and that's where we are now. Mississippi's known for its red clay. You see all this orange looking water. That's that red clay we got from erosion. It's all that dirt sediment when it's in the water like this. You got anybody here from like the Mississippi River shed states like Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa? Where y'all from? Illinois? Oh, yeah. You would be surprised how often we have people from Illinois, because I ask that all the time.
How nice it is. How nice it is on the
We
side.
talk a lot about the erosion. You know, the Mississippi River has been bringing dirt down for thousands of years in such large amounts, and all, of course, from erosion, and that it's actually built all of South Louisiana. Did we have anybody drive on Interstate 10 from highway from Texas to New Orleans? Y'all come from the east? I know y'all come from the east. How about y'all in the front? Y'all came from like Alabama or something?
We're from Ohio.
Ohio. So you didn't come down I-10?
Well, from the airport.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, we're talking about from Texas to New Orleans. So if anybody would have drove from Texas to New Orleans on I-10, you wouldn't have had one hill. It's totally flat from here to Texas. The reason for that is because the Mississippi River over thousands of years methodically built all of South Louisiana from that great dirt from Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa. That includes New Orleans. And so I talk a good bit about the watershed states, the dirt coming down the river and all that good stuff. If you happen to see any alligators in here, which we will, a good rule of thumb to tell how big they might be, is you guesstimate the distance between their nose and their eyes in inches. Transfer it to feet. So if it looks like 3 inches between his nose and his eyes, he's probably 3 feet long. 8 inches, 8 feet. 12 feet. So that's a good rule of thumb to have an idea about how big alligators are. Most of the time we don't see the whole body of them, the whole length, so you can't really tell how big they are. Most all the turtles you'll see on this tour will be red-eared sliders. Same type turtle usually found in the pet store. The reason we see so many, they hardly have any predators. Nothing really wants to eat them, so there's plenty of them. We got alligators, snapping turtles, loggerheads, mud turtles, soft shells. Hardly ever see those because they really elusive. Everything wants to eat them. We even have a turtle unique to the Pearl River. It's called the Pearl River Mountain Turtle. It looks like the red-eared slider, but it's got bumps on its back instead of having a smooth shell. And they're only known really to be in the Pearl Rivers. We're getting ready to boat ride. Everybody got their seatbelts buckled and all ready. Oh, that's right, no seatbelts. This is all for real. We might have to swim. You never know. This is for real. Until we see anything along here, we'll be boat ride here. Just looking on elementary.
Your arm gets tired, you don't have to take it the whole time.
Oh my God.
the Kapisa Indian tribe. They came in here and they were by themselves for about 150 years. One of the first things they got to noticing about this swamp is that it was full of these big giant trees. These big giant trees were virgin bald cypress trees. They were over 1,000 years old. Next thing they got to noticing is that those big giant trees were full of honey and honeybees. Now what had happened, the bald cypress tree is rot resistant and insect resistant, but it gets a fungus called peck. That peck attacks the heart of the cypress tree, and over the centuries of attacking these trees, hollowed out the insides and created the perfect habitat for the honeybees to build their honey hives and all that. They had so many honeybees and honey hives in this swamp, they named this swamp Honey Island Swamp. In fact, they had so many honeybees back in the day throughout Louisiana because the whole state was swamped, like we were talking about earlier, from being built by the Mississippi River. Louisiana named its state insect the honeybee. Should have been a mosquito, a termite, or something like that. We still have a lot of mosquitoes and termites, but we hardly have any honeybees anymore. In fact, we had so many bald cypress trees back in the day, being the whole state was basically swamped. Louisiana named its state tree the bald cypress tree. Now there's so few of them, they're protected like the redwood, and they're kin to the redwood. Then about 1850, another group of people came into this swamp. They were known as the Spaniards. They were coming to harvest all these big giant virgin bald cypress trees. So they started mingling with the native Indians. Things seemed to be going good. So much so, this gray stuff you see hanging around in the trees, it looks so much like the Spaniards' beards, they named it after them. They call that Spanish moss. Spanish moss is a epiphyte. It's not a fungus. It just uses the tree to hold it in the air. It gets whatever it needs from the air. It's akin to the pineapple. It's got iodine in it. But what really made it valuable to them is that it was mildew resistant. They could braid it together and make blankets. They could use it for stuffing or insulation. It could get damp or wet, dry out, be just fine with mildew. Spaniards came in such large numbers they brought a lot of germ and disease in with them. So much so, it started wiping the natives out. So they started leaving this area and went and joined another Indian tribe known as the Houma Indians. Now the Spaniards, they went right to work when they came in here. They were cutting all these big trees down by hand, dragging them to the river with oxen, and drifting them down the river. They trying to get on the other side of that bridge that we saw when we pulled out, that we went under, and so they just hoping to get over on the other side. They've been sitting here a pretty good while. They shut that bridge down about 4 years ago, and they were supposedly going to do something pretty quick, but here we are 4 years later, and really no progress, it doesn't seem. Speed of government. Now this swamp changes by the minute. If y'all were here about 4 or 5 months ago, it was zero green anywhere around. It was bare. You could, no leaves in the trees, no leaves on the ground, no plants. It was bare. But spring has sprung and it's totally different now. So we're gonna go up in here. And like we saw those wasps and all, everything is for real. We happen to have a snake falling on somebody's lap and they die from it. Most likely it'll be from a heart attack. So try not to die prematurely of a heart attack, because most of the snakes are non-venomous thanks to the feral hogs. I see some turtles over there on the right, kind of far back there, sitting on that log. They ready to sliders. This place changes by the minute, constantly changes. I mean, the boat's sitting on the bottom, and we're all. If we would happen to sink at any point, after you freak out, just stand up. Hopefully the rails will be high enough to keep the alligators out, but they won't be. Yeah, it's shallow. These big heart-shaped leaves we see on either side of the boat are called elephants. You can find them throughout the United States at your home and garden stores. I had a lady out here the other day from Arizona, and she saw them in here, and she's like, oh my God, I got these in my backyard, and I live in Arizona. They must be dying of thirst. And I'm thinking, Arizona, they must be. But what really got me, we pulled in here early in April, and I had a guy in a boat from the Caribbeans. And he sees them in here that's popping up out the ground, because they were just starting to pop out the ground. He's like, man, I'm tripping out on how many and how healthy these elephant ears are here. He said they call them taro in the Caribbean. He said they love to eat the stem and the leaf over there. He says they like it so much they pay $30 a pound for it. That made me believe it. They must really like that stuff. He said they cook it like we do crawfish in a spicy boil, put sweet potatoes in it, was telling me how great it was. So I was telling that on tour one day, and the guy says, oh yeah, he says, I'm from Hawaii. He says, we call it taro also. He said, but they love eating the root over there. He said, that's their #1 starch. He said they prefer it over potatoes. Make taro chips, poi, even make ice cream out of it. Purple's my favorite color. They said ice cream's purple, but I don't think I'd like it that much, even though it's purple. But some people tell me it's really good. The other half of the people tell me it ain't that great. That'd probably be like them. Now we're just kind of looking all through here. No telling what or whatever. There's all kind of critters. It's just we don't hardly see most of them. We got spiders in here so big they don't even build a web. They just jump on what they want. I had one, saw one the other day eating a lizard. Yeah, couldn't tell really what it was. Kind of like with that alligator with that fish. And so somebody took a picture of it and zoomed in. You could see the head was a lizard's head. Yeah, pretty crazy. We're going to see some real pretty pink things. They're about a foot above the water. They called apple snail egg sacs. We used to didn't have the apple snails before Katrina came, and after Katrina, a year or two later, we started seeing these big giant snails crawling underneath the surface of the water, up on the vegetation. Seemed pretty cool at first, but then the next thing we knew, they were everywhere. Then this bird showed up. Closest place on the bird map was Florida. It's called a limpkin. It's about 30 inches tall, long skinny legs, long beak, and it walks around in the shallow water poking around looking for those apple snails. And they showed up, started wiping them out. Now we hardly see limpkins or apple snails. Look in here and see what we see. The apple snails? No, because the limpkins about wiped them out. But we know there's still plenty because we're going to see a lot of those pink egg sacs, and they figure there's about 1,000 eggs in each egg sac. I see a couple up in front on the left over there. and see them from a distance. Well, the water's really getting low. The water was super high about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, but it's dropping rapidly. You can see over there all mud and all. Just kind of poking around now, see how shallow it's going to be in here. Usually it's deep enough we come run crawfish traps and all in the spring in here. Now I see a pretty little yellow flower over here on the left side. We're going to see them through the tour. That one that's looking really pretty. Ease up in this little spot. This is where we see snakes and stuff in here, but we just got to see more deep in the water. Be looking good on these banks. And that might be there, big bullfrogs, snakes, spiders. What you see? Oh yeah, how pretty it is. Yeah, be looking. Oh yeah, big black bugs.
A bunch of minnows in the water.
Yeah.
Like bridge walnut.
Yeah, but even those limbs are real, they even poke your eye out.
Isn't that one of those flowers?
Now these plants, like mostly on the right here with the pointy leaf pointing kind of toward the sky, those are called arrowroot plants. And they say they make flour out of those. Arrowroot flour.
Oh, yeah.
With this tour, this is when we were
What
flying.
you see up there? Y'all see something? Apple, snail, egg sack or what? What? I see y'all. Oh, look at that! Look at that! There we go. Somebody grab him. Somebody grab him.
Oh my gosh.
Let me grab him.
Grab him.
Yeah, let me grab him.
Grass.
That's kind of a small one.
Oh my God.
Now that's called a lubber. It's actually a grasshopper. People in Mexico eat them. I had a guy on. I heard that, but I had a guy on from Mexico the other day on. He said, "Oh, we eat them things." I was like, "Dang!" So they really do. Anybody want to show and tell? Y'all want to show and tell? All y'all kiddos with life jackets, y'all want to take those jackets off. It's super hot. I mean, the water's barely deep enough for the boat to float. You're not going to have to swim. So take them jackets off and end up not having a heat stroke. But this is called a lubber, like rubber, but with an L, lubber. Now you're going to notice we're going to see a bunch of lubbers. They have become lubbers in the past week or two.
Yeah,
And so about 2 months ago, they just hatched. They were little bitty guys. Couldn't even see them be a patch of black. There'd be so many in one area. And they've been rapidly growing, and they have become lovers. We're going to see a lot of couples all in here. And they're breeding right now. They're going to lay eggs, and then before long, they're going to die. And we won't see lovers probably in another couple of weeks. Then next spring, the eggs will hatch, and we'll have lovers again. So many things change rapidly through here, like the Louisiana state flowers of purple iris. Now we have purple irises all in here around April, but only for a couple of weeks, and then boom, they're gone. Won't have them again until next year. This place constantly changing. Some things stay a long time, some things go away pretty rapidly, especially like the purple iris. There's a turtle that's all already in the slide right there. Yep, watch out for the wind. They are for real. I did mention everything on this tour is for real, right? Keep that in mind. And don't forget, no hands or heads over the rails. A lot of these animals like handouts. Some of them can jump higher than the top of the boat so they can reach it. See that? This was a riverbank. Remember I was telling y'all how the river filled in with sediment? So that was a riverbank over there, and that was a riverbank over there. And all this, all in the middle and all, is just from the dirt that's settled in the water, and the bottom has risen to the top. That's how all South Louisiana was built, except from the Mississippi River. This river drains a third of the state of Mississippi. The Mississippi River drains a third of the United States. The provinces of Canada, Montana, and like 30 other states drain the water when it rains, drains past New Orleans. Even today, they figure about 1.2 million cubic feet of water and sediment pass through New Orleans per second. Pretty crazy.
Did you bring extra batteries?
Yeah, so all of South Louisiana was built by the silt coming down the Mississippi River. So between here and Texas, the water is really, I mean, the mud is really good fertile ground, being it came from Iowa, Illinois, Montana. Yeah, you're going to see those lubbers all through here. Might end up having one on your lap, you never know. But you're going to start noticing a lot of them are couples now. They pretty much done paired up.
Yeah, they're mating over there.
Yep, yep.
Should get a hold
But back in the day when the natives were here, they didn't have a source of info. They had to figure things out on their own. So they had to do the buddy system, trial and error, spread the word. So they had a couple of buddies cruise through here one day, and they come across these mushrooms they'd never seen before. Kind of purplish top, like my favorite color, purple ring around the stem. They looking at it, and I'm like, man, that thing's making me hungry. The other guy was real skeptical. He didn't want nothing to do with those mushrooms. So he told his buddy, well, heck, go ahead and try one. You see, only one could try it, because if it killed him, then the other one had to spread the word. You don't eat these things, they kill you. That's how you figure stuff out back then. So his buddy did. He ate one, he ate two, He's on the third mushroom. He starts telling his buddy how great he's feeling, how pretty the birds and all.
Oh, God.
And his buddy's like, man, you're really doing good. Think maybe I need to eat some of them things. And he says, yeah, I need to eat some more. So guess what? They ate a bunch of them. They tripped for a really long time. Now, when they finally came down, they made a pact. They weren't telling nobody about that great discovery. They were keeping that one a secret. That technique they used on those mushrooms, they also used on these trees with the long, skinny leaves we see all around us. Those are called black willow trees. They used that technique on those black willow trees, and they got to realizing that they chewed on the bark of that tree, or if they boiled it and made tea out of it and drank it, it would alleviate fever and relieve pain. So they did that for over a century. Finally, somebody did studies on the black willow tree and come to find out it contains acylic acid, which is actually the active ingredient in aspirin. So they were like getting aspirin in its purest form from these black willow trees. And speaking of black willow trees and mushrooms, any of you guys have ate oyster mushrooms? Yeah, you like them? Yeah, that's everybody's answer. Taro, it's real questionable whether people really like it or not. But oyster mushrooms, everybody like it. Yeah, we got a little small alligator over here on the left. Y'all on the right can stand if y'all want to.
Oh, right.
Come out here to a tree. We tend to see smaller ones in here because the bigger ones will eat the little ones. Way over here. Come on, you coming to see us? Come on out here. Brought all these people to come see you and you're going to hide. Come on. We got a treat for you. There you go. Come on out here. Now, he got a good nose. He can find that treat. He'll smell it.
Must have a good dentist.
Is he coming out? There you go. Come on out and show your stuff. You gonna find that treat? Yeah, we want to see you. We're not worried about you looking for that treat. We'll get that one. It's all about the tail. See how he just barely wiggling that tail? The bigger they are, the higher they can jump and the faster they can swim. They can jump 2/3 to 3/4 the length of their body. So that little guy is about 5 foot, something like that. So he can only jump, but about 2.5 feet, 3 feet, something like that. But that's about as high as the rail. And it's a little one. You bet. So you're not gonna go find that other treat? You want me to give you another one? Oh, I threw 2 of them out there.
He ate it.
They got 2 sets of eyelids. One's like ours, keep the sun and debris out. The other's a clear membrane that goes over their eye when they go underwater. Works like a water goggle. No matter how big, y'all stay standing, I'm just backing up a little bit. No matter how big or small of an alligator we see, they're all dinosaurs. They have been around for millions of years. They're really no different today than they were a million years ago. They territorial, the males, like I say, this one right here, the mama will lay about 50 eggs on average. Out of them 50, only 4 make it to adulthood, so it's real low population growth. The mama will protect the babies till they leave the nest. Once they leave the nest, they on their own. She's liable to eat them on a later day. They're solitary and territorial. He's just holding, his little tail just barely wiggling, just because the current's passing him up. You can kind of see the ripples going past him. The current's holding, just holding tight. Yeah, I got a treat for you. Come get it.
Oh my God.
Compressed fish meal. It's designed for alligators.
Oh my
The
God.
older they get, everything gets bigger. We call that heaviness girth. As the decades go by, their teeth get bigger, their nose gets wider, their tails get deeper. The only way you can really tell what sex they are out here is if it's over 9 feet, most likely it's a male. Females rarely ever get over 9 feet. And being the females don't grow as long, you can tell about how old they are up to about 5 feet. They grow a foot a year the first 5 years, but once they hit the 5-year mark, the females slow down. So then you can't really tell which sex it is and how old it is because you don't know which sex it is. If it's a male, he's going to still be growing pretty good. Female slows way down. They're dinosaurs. They build a nest out of vegetation. Yeah, we don't want to spoil them. So we're going to see a lot of alligators like that all through here. We see smaller ones in these little confined areas because the big ones will be eating them, so they got to really kind of watch out who they around. back to oyster mushrooms. So yeah, most everybody that has tried oyster mushrooms really like them. They're a tad expensive, but they're really good. But the crazy thing is these black willow trees all around us, they produce oyster mushrooms that are really good to eat. So we get them out of here a couple of times a year. It's not certain times. That's when the conditions get right, they just start popping up. Now remember, all this land on the right here, it's high, it was a foot or so above the water. That's all brought in here by the silt, by the sediment from the current flowing through here. Pretty crazy how this little old river can do all this different stuff with sediment. We don't see that many snakes, if that helps you, relieves you a little bit. We don't see that many in the summertime. It's kind of weird. You'd think we'd see them everywhere, but we see them all in here in the spring and in the fall. They cold-blooded like alligators are, and so they just look kind of lethargic in the spring and the fall. So they'll be laying somewhere and we'll see them and they just hoping we don't bother them. But in the summertime like this, we don't see many at all because they see us coming and they disappear. Now we used to have the most common snake in here we had to worry about if it fell in your lap because it was a cottonmouth. But we hardly have cottonmouths. We hardly have any snakes now because the feral hog, an invasive species from Europe, it's about wiped out all the snakes. So the most common snake we have in here is a banded snake, or a banded water snake, or a diamondback water snake. And so we hardly see any other snakes. So if one falls in your lap, most likely it'd be one of the non-venomous. I've been seeing a few butterflies here lately. It's about where you see them at mostly. So we just. The good thing is those bugs we see over here on the left, those are called boatsmen. They swim on top of the water all kind of crazy. They go all different directions. That's one of the things that stays here probably about 5 or 6 months. They hatch in the spring when it starts warming up. And they're here all the way till it starts getting cold and they die. Then the eggs they laid during the summer hatch next spring and we got boatsmen again. They eat the algae that comes up from the bottom. We'll see them through here. We're getting more and more every day, it seems like. Oh. Yeah, big blubber right there.
He's waving. Hello.
Yeah, howdy guys. Yeah, you can tell some of the animals, you can tell they're from around New Orleans because they chase these floats, holler and throw me something. But when it's hard to see them, when it's more around Mardi Gras time when we can see all that because there's no vegetation really anywhere, so they can just run along the banks and stuff. Ease in the shade. It's been super hot. It's really a nice morning this morning compared to what it had been. Ooh, you're not kidding. Now, you know, I'm talking about the sediment settling from the Mississippi River and building all of South Louisiana. That was over thousands of years, but we reversed that. Anybody here from around Missouri? Anybody know where the levees on the Mississippi River start? Oh yeah, don't let go of that stick.
Wow.
Awesome.
Now you ready to try?
Alright, I figured that.
Oh, tonight. Yes.
These are North American ringtail raccoons. You can do the one in the tree over there. Can you reach out there? You might need to stand up.
That's all my, because it's just so I won't forget
Good job. These are North American ringtail raccoons, kin to the red panda. They have their babies in the trees, so a lot of them have a lot of raccoons around here because. Want to do it again? Yeah, you can say these are little mamas. See their little bellies. Right. This slough used to go into that lake right there, but now the lake isn't water anymore. It's water when the water's high in the bottom, rising high again because the sediment is still settling. Remember that Mississippi River, it's got like 1.2 million cubic feet of water and sediment passing through New Orleans per second. You just do that to an hour's time, astronomical number. It's been doing it for thousands of years, but it used to not be contained like it is now.
The leaves.
Well, Well, there's a night heron up in front. He's gonna be on the left. I'm gonna go to the right, so he's gonna be on the left. Y'all can stand if y'all want on the right. See him back there in the shade?
This one might be. This one might be. I like a lot.
Feet like that. Oh yeah, see how pretty he is? Now he's got eyes that's red. He's got like a red reflector
Between the two
eyes.
trees.
He hunts at night a lot. I would think he might be catching crawfish and all, but the crawfish probably pretty much slowed down. But he might be still catching a crawfish here and there. Look how pretty he is.
Yeah.
He must be pretty.
Me too. I think that's
We're
so
gonna
cool,
ease
right?
up in there. See how close we can get to him. I'm gonna go to the right over here in that little groove. Y'all can stay. Y'all good. You don't want to keep eyes. But we get close enough, you'll see his eyes, like a red reflector. Take a picture of him, you probably see his red eyes if you zoom in on it. I mean, they are red.
We went to New Orleans last night.
He's being pretty calm, isn't he? See his eyes? I can see him.
Yeah.
Super red.
Yeah. What you doing over there? Huh?
Chilling, giving us a good pose.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he's looking at you.
Like
a
with
little
the
bit
right
now.
side, yes.
Yeah.
So pretty.
That's a crown night heron. They usually feeding at night and stuff, but they like the owls. They hunt in the day too. Look up in front on the right. You got a little critter. Everybody's showing up on the right side today. I need y'all to sit for a minute so I can see all these trees. I see you. How you doing over there, my little night heron friend? Just staying chilled, huh?
There's a raccoon right behind.
Now we used to have Nancy Piglosi, Kevin Bacon, George Cooney, but Nancy and Kevin got turned into sausage in here. Remember, this is a wildlife management area, and old George, he got eaten by alligator crossing those cypress knees. There was water under them cypress knees right there, and one of them alligators snatched him up on the cross. It was even on tour.
There's a turtle right there.
It's changing real quick right now. I mean, it may stay low like this for a couple of months.
Same too.
Yeah.
So it got high, and it stayed high.
Yeah, I ended up like school solstice, maybe graduated. I graduated 200 feet water. I was taking every engineering course there was.
In like February. Yeah, so February it's 180. No alligators.
Oh, so you're taking
No leaves in the trees.
Yeah.
No leaves on the ground. So we see the raccoons, they still here. They run in here.
Pretty good ground.
We can see them really good. We see them so much.
Underwater basket.
Do you think they look? Oh, they do?
Probably.
So this is not.
Behind us. I live here.
We hadn't done it this year, but a lot of times by this time we got pigs.
It's different.
And then hunting season, we go
There's a river.
and then we get there on the weekend.
What?
He said he comes out, he heads out. He's got the regular.
Yeah.
He's got all the stuff on the board.
Last year at this time, we could go up there and pigs come running out.
The only engineering I didn't
They
like.
really loose.
So it's not really.
If you do anything about
Prior,
they don't
like
have to be
anybody.
in and they really don't be able to interrupt people.
Like, what is, how do you know you're not monogamous? Like, when we walked on that plank to get to the boat, it's a non-Catholic Catholic. So, like, this guy, where is he getting in? Like, how is this happening?
Yeah, well, I'm just captain's license. Start taking to drive a boat, I believe, on Auto, especially out here. It's very hard to test. I mean, it's 8 hours. Yeah, and to certify you as a certified engineer, it's like you take that, you go work with engineers for like 5 years. Second one, here's a standard one. Yeah, they make I took it and passed it when I was almost 50 years old.
Right.
Be here in January until they shoot the pigs right there.
I really like this.
The state owns.
I don't like how crazy it is. I really like the seal of
I think that's where my
the
son's
bridge building.
Permit to give you the paperwork. So they can.
I know it's right up here.
I know it's
Alligator season is going to be open. So at the end of the
They're probably bumps and they hear the boats.
She'll like that. Because I wrote
last week of August, all the way through December.
So this man that's on the boat,
What's that?
there's a big one there. Holy.
Yeah, there's some big ones.
The person that's on the boat, he just listens to somebody.
This is public property.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they can, anybody can come in here. On y'all's tickets, on y'all pay,
Yeah.
you pay like $2.
I know, seriously, this is
Oh, okay.
They get like $2.
Yep.
Come on, the land.
Yeah, pretty good alligator right here. So right, let's see, he's back there by the tree. See him way over there by the trees. This will be the biggest one we've seen. He might have saw that boat right there when he got out of here. It's not normal for him to run like that, but that little boat right there, these guys are smart. They see something out of the normal. Yeah, they see something out of the normal and they go hide. I see you in there. Went and got away, huh? I see you. Look how long it is between his nose and his eyes. That's like 13 inches. So. Yeah, now he'll eat these little ones. Now, if he comes out here to eat these treats, he probably won't let the little ones eat the treats. He'll keep them run off. He coming out here, huh?
that big one there.
I don't know that he's 13. That looks small. Looks smaller now. There you go. Come on out here.
Oh.
Come on, you coming? We got some more for you.
He's going where the mix.
Yeah, he saw that other boat and he ran off. He went hit. Now watch, those little ones aren't going to eat these treats more than likely. He's not going to let them.
Oh.
He's being pretty nice to them little ones, actually. Y'all got y'all a big friend? Huh? So he went back. He didn't like me and I.
Over there, he's like chilling.
Oh.
Now he may not be here this time next year because alligator season opens in about 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
They all.
So we see a lot of little ones because our bigger ones have been getting caught.
There's another one. Yeah, here comes two.
We want to see how you act with these little ones. You okay with them?
Well.
You ready to eat now, huh? You feel pretty good around
Oh
us.
my God. So good.
The older they get, the heavier they get. We call that girth. It takes decades to build up. And the crocodile's nose stays narrow. See how wide his nose is? The crocodile's nose stays narrow as they grow old. The alligator's nose gets wider. So you can kind of tell how old they are by how wide their nose is. See all these, if we had an 8-footer in here that had a little narrow nose kind of like that, it'd be a young alligator. All of these are young, of course. Those bumps on their back are called scoops. They work like solar panels. They absorb the heat from the sun, transfer that heat all through their body. They're cold-blooded. And so they hibernate like bears. They get reptile dysfunction before it starts getting real cold. And when they get that reptile dysfunction, their glands in their throat closes and they can't eat anything. So a bear, it'll eat a lot of food before it goes into hibernation, and it's fat, and it burns all that food off while it's sleeping during the winter. Comes out in the spring, hungry, skinny, and mean. The alligator's just the opposite. It goes into, it doesn't eat. wiped out, but the alligator was knocked out. Things turned good. They popped their heads up, looking around, wondering where everybody's at. And now they're the dinosaurs. Yeah, thanks to reptile dysfunction. Huh?
Small guy behind us.
They got like a radar. They got what they call dogs to them out. So they got good eyes. A lot of times out there in these streets, and they're ready to get it before it even happens.
I'm good.
But
I'm
those
good now.
receptors work.
I know.
He's probably full, about ready to take it out. You know, I think he was in that bucket earlier. Yeah, they pretty cool insects.
Yes.
We're getting ready to boat ride again for a minute. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Gets real shallow up here. Can't take off. Take off here. You'd think we'd be right in the middle, but see all them walls out there, they're all drifting down the river and got left on the bottom. Looks like it's only about ankle deep. That's that sediment coming down.